I think it's safe to say the ROG is an excellent handheld for PC gaming, but it does lack in one area specifically, and that's its battery life. The ROG comes native with a 40 watt hour battery, but it doesn't really do much for us when we're playing higher demanding games such as CRYPTOKEYS, Call of Duty, any of those higher demanding games. Welcome in XWeaver X. I tested out 3 separate games, CRYPTOKEYS, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and Hollow Knight. Now I use the overlay that's built into the armory crate here, as you see at the top right, to record all these data points. And I went ahead and tested out the 3 battery modes, 25 watt turbo mode, 15 watt performance mode, and 10 watt silent mode. Now for CRYPTOKEYS and Hollow Knight, I did all 3 of those power tests, but for Black Ops 6, I kept it with the 25 watt turbo mode. When I did my testing under 25 watts, the game becomes very hard to play because the FPS staggers really bad under 30 FPS, and it makes it very hard to play a fast-paced game such as Black Ops 6 Zombies. And as you saw on the title of this video, I am going to be comparing the stock battery compared to JSAUX thermal battery upgrade kit that they have on their website. Now the stock battery again is a 40 watt hour battery. JSAUX battery that you can buy on their website is a 65 watt hour battery. So it's a 25 watt hour battery upgrade, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you'll be surprised. So let's hop right into this. Now this video is sponsored by JSAUX, and I want to give you guys a big shout out. JSAUX, thank you so much for sending me this battery thermal upgrade kit for my ROG. I did reach out to them and I asked if they would be so kind to send me this so I could review for you guys, and they so kindly did. So thank you so much, JSAUX, for going ahead and sending me this unit. I'm going to have links down in my description that you guys can use to purchase this if you are interested. It costs nothing extra to you, but does help me and my channel out. And check out some of the other excellent products they have over on their website. The links will be down below. So here's our 65 hour watt battery upgrade by JSAUX. Again, the stock battery is a 40 hour watt battery, so this is a 25 hour watt battery upgrade. Now opening up the box, we got a QR code at the top. We have plenty of screws here, so if you lose any of your screws, they got you covered. We have a Phillips head screwdriver. We have the clippers that we're going to be using to modify the case. And then we have a 65 hour watt battery here with a metal shield, which is super nice. Really happy that they included that. We also get a spudger to open up the ROG, rubber covers for the back buttons and thumbsticks, and then we also have the light shield stickers as well. The back plate that everything is housed in. You will notice that the ROG Ally logo is going to be missing from this, and that's for obvious reasons. They can't put that on there because of trademark. They don't want to risk being sued because of that. The back plate feels very durable, and it is going to add better ventilation, as you will see in my tests later on. Now we also get some rubber gloves that we're going to be using to make sure we don't get any of our finger oils on the components. And last but not least, a very nice heatsink with thermal pads pre-applied. And here is an overall shot of everything you get. I forgot to mention the screws do have a diagram to show you where those screws go in case you forget. Super nice touch by JSAUX. Oh yeah, and one more thing the kit does come with is rubber covers for the eGPU, which is that right there. Super nice. So getting started, the first thing we want to do is discharge the battery to less than 25%, and this is a safety thing to do whenever working with batteries. That way there's no accidental sparks or discharges. So once your battery is less than 25%, go ahead and shut the ROG down completely. If you have a micro SD card, now is the time to remove that, so make sure you take that out as well. Now I'm going to grab the foam padding that was in the case. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use this to set my ROG down on. And then there's going to be 6 screws that we need to get started to remove. It's going to be one here, one in the middle, one to the right there, one below it, one at the middle, and then one at the left as well. Now something I do need to point out is this screw that I circled here is a different size than the other 5 screws. So make sure you don't get those screws mixed up. So here's a visual representation of that center bottom screw. As you see, it is smaller than the other 5 screws, and I'm going to throw one of the bigger screws on so you can see the size comparison. So that's the difference there. So to get started, I'm going to grab the spudger tool, and I'm going to start from the top here. Now there are these little plastic tabs throughout this, so you want to be careful while you're prying this open. Don't use too much pressure or force with this. If it doesn't feel like it's budging, try a different location and work your way around. Once you have enough of the clips pop, you should be able to just pull it right off like this. We're going to set this to the side. We're going to peel this sticker off right here. Now there's going to be 4 screws we're going to remove. One's going to be here. One's going to be under this warranty sticker. Another here. And another here. While you're removing these, take note of the screw size. The top screws are going to be longer. The screw here on the left and the right is going to look like this. They're going to be the smaller screws. So to take note of that, the top ones are the longer ones. The left and right ones are the smaller ones. So set these aside, make sure you don't lose them. And from there, grab your spudger tool. We're going to go over to this clip and we're going to pull it down towards us. We're going to go to the left side and do the same thing here. Pull that black clip down towards us. Once we have the clips unlocked, we're going to go ahead and remove this ribbon cable. Be very gentle with this. You don't want to do too much force and rip it or bend it too much. So take your time with it. Give it a little tug, shake back and forth, and it should come out. Go ahead and peel it off. If one side's not peeling very easily, try the other side. We're going to set this to the side. Now we're going to come over here to where the battery connector is. There's this metal housing. We're going to slide that up. And then we're going to take our pry tool and just lift up from both sides to go ahead and disconnect that battery. And once we have this battery connector disconnected, we can go ahead and remove the battery. Be careful removing the battery. We don't want to damage it. And from here, grab your snips. We're going to snip this piece right here and this piece right here. So grab the snips that came with it. We're just going to go ahead and cut this, and we want to make it as flush as we can to the case. We don't want to have any rough edges poking out and puncturing the battery. So go ahead, do what I'm doing here. You can go around, work your way around it. Take your time with it. It's not a race. Just make sure you go ahead and get that as flush as you can. And once you're done, it should look something similar to mine. Go ahead and fill it. Make sure there's no pointy edges that's going to puncture the battery. Head over to the left side and do the exact same thing. Be careful with this one, as this one can shoot off pretty fast. So just be careful with it. And then go ahead and make it as flush as possible, just like we did the other side. Once you're done with it, fill it. Make sure there's no pointy edges that's going to puncture the battery. We do want to make this as smooth as possible and as flush as possible with the case as we can get it. And after that, we're going to go ahead and peel this off right here. There we go. Now here's the battery here. What I like to do is I like to take the negative side, which is the black cable. The positive side is going to be the red cable to the left. I like to go ahead and get this plugged in before I set the battery down. So the negative side is going to go on the right, positive side is going to go on the left. Go ahead, push that in. And then once you have it pushed in, slide that metal bracket down. That metal housing should just slide right over the battery connector. And once we have it set just like that, we're going to go ahead and screw in our battery. So again, we're going to have 4 screws. The smaller screws are on the left and right, and the bigger screws are going to be on the top. So get all 4 screws screwed in. After that, we're going to take our heat sink with our thermal pad. We're going to remove the plastic. Make sure you remove that plastic. And then we're going to line up the heat sink with thermal pad to the cutout hole there at the top for the screw. So just go ahead and line that up. Give it a nice little push down just like I did here. After that, we want to reinstall the ribbon cable. To do so, make sure the plastic housing is unclipped. That little black piece there is going to be facing towards you. That indicates that it is unclipped and open, so you can slide that cable in. To close it, just push it down and up away from you. And then we're going to grab our light sensor sticker here. We need to go ahead and put this down right here. If we don't do this, our ally will not turn back on. We have to cover this sensor here with this light sensor sticker. So go ahead and do that. After that, we are going to remove the trigger here. To do so, there's going to be 2 screws holding it in. So we'll unscrew the left screw there, and then we'll go ahead and unscrew that right screw as well. Now we want to go ahead and lift this up. Be careful with the little white plastic piece there. You don't want to snap it. And then we're going to repeat the same process on the left side. Unscrew both screws. Lift the trigger up off of the frame here. Unscrew the middle screw here. There is a spring under this, so be careful when you're unscrewing this. You don't want the spring to go flying. So here's that spring right here. As you can see, it's a very tiny spring. You don't want to lose that or you're going to be SOL. So set that aside. Hop over to the right side, do the same thing. Remove the screw, remove the spring. And then we're going to go ahead and push these buttons in. And that's how we're going to snap these off. It's very easy. You just push it, give it a little push. They'll snap right out. No issues there whatsoever. So now we want to grab our new plate and push these back triggers on the back here. Just line it up and give it a nice push and it'll snap in place. Now we want to grab our spring and screw, and we want to go ahead and screw this down with some pressure. So as you're screwing this, make sure you're giving it a gentle pressure and screwing as straight down as you can. And then we're going to repeat this same process on the right side. And from here we want to grab our triggers to install. Now I put the 2 screws in the holes already to make this a little easier for myself. You want to go ahead and squeeze the trigger down as you're putting this on the frame, and you want to continue to hold the trigger down like I'm doing here, and then you want to screw the 2 screws in as you're holding this trigger down. It's very important that you squeeze the trigger down as you're screwing these 2 screws in. After that, you can go ahead and pull the trigger up from the back side. Just pull it just like that. Good to go. So now we'll do the same thing for the opposite side. Remember to squeeze that trigger in as you're screwing the 2 screws in. As you see, both triggers are working flawlessly here, no issues. So now we're ready to go ahead and put the back plate on. So just line it up, and we're just going to go around the ally and just squeeze until the clips clip in place. So now we're going to screw all of our 6 screws in. Now to power this on, we need to grab our AC power and connect it. This will not power up unless you connect it to the AC power, so keep that in mind. If for whatever reason you're not able to power it on, you have to make sure you have the AC power plugged into it. And that's only for the first time after we disconnected the battery. From that point forward, you do not have to have the AC power to power this on. So that's the whole installation of the battery. So what about the results? So let's hop right into that. So I had 100% brightness set on the ROG with the RGB lighting set to 33%, 100% battery to start each test at, and a 60 FPS cap implemented through Armory Crate. Now I measured the APU wattage, the battery wattage, the degrees Celsius, the time it took for the battery to completely drain to 0%. And among the stock and the new battery, I kept it in the same area of gameplay to get a consistent reading. And if one of the wattage readings was a decimal, I rounded up to the nearest whole number. So here's the results I got. For the stock battery, we had a 57 degrees Celsius reading at 1 hour 44 minute runtime. JSAUX's battery had a 52 degrees Celsius reading with a 3-hour runtime. Now in performance mode on the stock, we had 54 degrees Celsius with 2 hours 12 minutes. On JSAUX, we had a 50 degrees Celsius and 4-hour runtime. And on the silent mode for the stock battery, we had a 42 degrees Celsius with 2 hour 24 minute runtime. JSAUX was a 38 degrees Celsius with 5 hour 32 minute runtime. And moving on to the next game, it's going to be Clair Obscur. Now this game is a very demanding game. So I went ahead and I had to go through the settings. I set everything down to low with a cap of 30 FPS. This is running at 1920 by 1080. Now for those asking, Hollow Knight doesn't have all these settings available, so there's nothing to tinker with inside of Hollow Knight. But for Clair Obscur here, these are all the settings that I was running with in case you were wondering. Again, everything's set to low. We have a max FPS of 30 and we set it to ultra performance as well. So for the stock battery at 25 watt turbo mode, we have a 74 degrees Celsius temp, 48 minute runtime. JSAUX battery is a 70 degrees Celsius temp with a 1 hour 45 minute runtime. Going down to the 15 watt performance mode, we have 63 degrees Celsius with 1 hour 13 minutes on the stock battery. JSAUX is a 58 degrees Celsius with 2 hour 36 minute runtime. And dropping down to 10 watt silent, we have 52 degrees Celsius, 1 hour 45 minutes on the stock battery. And JSAUX, we have a 48 degrees Celsius with 3 hours 40 minute runtime. So now let's hop over to our final testing, which is going to be on Black Ops 6 Zombies. So hopping over here to Black Ops 6 Zombies, this is another high demanding game for the ROG. These are the settings I rolled with. Now just so you know, I only did 25 watt turbo testing for this game. And that's because when I was doing my testing, anything under the 25 watt power mode made this very unplayable because it drops below 30 FPS and it's just really hard to play. So we're sticking with a 25 watt turbo mode test here. So running at 25 watts on the stock battery, we have 72 degrees Celsius, 48 minute runtime, and JSAUX 68 degrees Celsius with a 1 hour 34 minute runtime. So here we have it, guys. This is the ROG with the backplate installed with the new battery here by JSAUX. I did want to show you what it looked like here. So here we have it. This is what it looks like. Now, what are my overall thoughts on this? Well, I do have to say JSAUX really knocked it out of the park with this. Not only are we getting a better battery that doubles the battery life, but we're also getting better thermals because of the thermal pad that's included with the heatsink. So we get that heatsink and thermal pad that is giving us better temps while we're gaming. And not only is that good for our longevity of our device, but it actually gives us better performance in games because of the lower temps. So that's really cool. I think everything that comes with the kit is really awesome. I'm going to show you what the eGPU cover looks like and these thumbstick grips look like right now. So here's a shot of the thumbstick grips included. I didn't get the grips on the back of the back buttons here, but I did install them on my analog sticks and they feel very good. I really like the grip that they provide. Now, I also wanted to show off this eGPU cover that it comes with right here. As you see, it's very nice. It covers up that slot there and then still allows us to go ahead and plug in our power cable there where we need it. So that's what those look like. Now, my overall thoughts on this, guys, is I highly recommend this product. I can't say nothing bad about it. I think everything that's included with this kit is an excellent value. For what we're paying here and everything we're getting, it's an excellent value. I mean, I don't think you're gonna find a better battery to cost efficiency here on the market. And JSAUX came in and swung it right out of the park with this one. Not only are we getting better battery life, but we're getting double the battery life in most games that I tested. We're also getting better thermals because of that included heatsink and thermal pad that the kit comes with. And not only is that good for the longevity of our device, but it also improves the FPS in games because of the lower thermals. So that's a win-win in my book. So if you guys are interested in picking this up, you can use my link down in the description. It doesn't cost you anything to use, but it does help me and my channel out, so I greatly appreciate it if you do go ahead and use that link if you're interested in picking this up. And again, I want to give a big shout out to you guys, JSAUX. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video and sending me this wonderful 65-watt battery upgrade thermal kit. It is awesome, and I really appreciate it. If you guys found this video useful or helpful at all, consider dropping a like and a sub to the channel. Check out my other content. And as always, peace and prosper, much love. We'll be seeing you on the next one. Like.